What is your name?
Oliver J. Devone. The Korean War.
The North Korean Army invaded South Korea on June 25, 1950. On June 27, 1950, President Truman pledged U.S. support for South Korea. By the time the U.S. and the UN forces entered Korea, North Korean forces had pushed southern Korea all the way to the southern tip. 2 months after the war began, UN arrives in Busan to help.
I had a wonderful experience. The little traveling I did when I first went in, I left Boston and I went to the Army base down in South Boston. I transferred out of the Army base in January to Petersburg, Virginia, Fort Lee, Virginia. It was new to me and all the guys that were with me. We were just drafted, so there was about 17 of us that went down to Virginia for basic training at Fort Lee, Virginia. And eventually I was transferred from Virginia to Camp Hillman, New Jersey. And I was there for a while. And from there, I went to a place upstate New York called Camp Drum. And that was like Watertown, New York.
In order to be in the war, most of the Army recruits or volunteers were sent to several training camps in the U.S. A simple training unit consisted of 10 to 12 men. Training usually lasted from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. and lasted over a time period of 8 weeks. Basic training was to teach every soldier how to use all lightweight infantry weapons. They also learned how to dig foxholes, camouflage their faces for night combat, march fast over long distances, and hand-to-hand combat.
How has your experience changed you as a person?
Well, I don't realize, I think when you experience, I don't know how to explain this, just something that happened to people. Say you use your experience if you are something that might do you well or fare you well, you might use it to your advantage, and it's good. But you learn a lot, and I don't know how you apply it. It's just that you just do things automatic.
Start off with your name.
Francis Jensen.
What war did you fight in?
Vietnam.
Okay.
Vietnam.
Vietnam lost their independence in the surge of European imperialism in the mid-1800s. By 1883, Vietnamese were forced to grant France complete control. Ho Chi Minh organized and plotted for Vietnamese independence in the 1920s and 30s. In August 1945, Vietnam declared independence. By 1946, French and Vietnam went to war and the U.S. stood behind France rather than Vietnam. By the 1950s, U.S. was locked in a bloody ground war back to Communist North Korea's invasion of South Korea. In order to help, JFK increased the amount of military advisors from 700 to 1,600 in South Vietnam. Okay. How did the war affect your family?
I had a brother that went to Vietnam too. He got all screwed up emotionally. And the family, I don't think it affected the family so much. I mean, I think we had a big family. We had 8. 8 brothers, 4 and 4. You know? So it wasn't, I wouldn't say it affected. I have to say it was a big mistake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we should never have gone to Vietnam. We shouldn't be in these wars right here now, I don't think.